Hey guys, so today is Topsy Tuesday. So this week I will be doing my top 5 foundations. Last week I did my top 5 primers. If you'd like to see that, the link is down below. But we're gonna get started. I'm gonna try and make this as quick as possible. So my first favorite foundation is, not a surprise, it's the Colorstay foundation by Revlon. It's one of the best foundations out there. It's my favorite drugstore foundation for sure. I don't have a lot of favorite drugstore foundations. I have a lot in my backups to try that I haven't tried yet, but I don't really have a lot of drugstore foundations that I really love, because I like really full coverage just because I like to look as even as possible. And I do have some dark spots and stuff like that, so I do like to have a full coverage, and this is the fullest coverage, and this does last all day. I think those are the two things, just to start off, the two things I look for in a foundation are, does it last me all day, and the coverage. So those are the two things that always go into play with me. And now it's kind of, is it lightweight, especially with the summer being really hot. So yeah, so it's this one, and then a close second, or not like it's, I'm just doing these in order, but I'm doing this kind of just is the Colorstay whipped foundation, and I love this just as much. I like this one a little bit more in the summer because even though it's whipped and it has like a mousse like consistency, it's lighter than the actual liquid one, which is kind of weird, but I do like this one, and I actually got this one on clearance at Target. That's one thing about having a darker skin tone. Oh, and that's another thing, is color selection. Just because when you're a darker skin tone, I find that a lot of companies don't really make don't make a color selection very well. And I'm kind of the in-between dark and medium. I'm not dark, but I'm not medium, obviously. So it's kind of a little harder for me to find foundations that work. So yeah, this was actually, I was not available where I live, but I found this while I was on vacation, so that was exciting. And then my next one is the Kat Von D Locket Tattoo. I love this stuff. It's very full coverage, but it's very thick. So if you're looking for something that's light, like you don't feel it, this is not the one for you. If you're looking for extreme full coverage, even complexion, gonna last you all day, because this stuff does not budge. It does not budge throughout the day. It's just like it locks, I guess that's why it's called locket. But it does, it just stays all day. And if you're under lights like I am a lot, like with singing or something, this is a perfect one, because it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't melt off. I find it kind of just stays put throughout the day, and I really have to touch up with this one. So this is another one. And then my next one is kind of along the same lines, but it's definitely a little more light, and that's the Becca Complexion Cream by Ultimate Coverage Complexion Cream. I hate saying it because the name is just so long, but it's such a good foundation. It's very full coverage, but this is a very little goes a long way. I guess you could say that one for the same for the Locket foundation is this one is, you know, yeah, it stays all day. I don't remember what I was saying. But this is a great one. I love this one. This one's around $40. I don't have a lot of drugstore, like I said, drugstore foundations that I like, but I think it's because I haven't tried as many, because for me, like I said, with color matching, it's hard for me to find colors, and you can't really just try the ones from the drugstore. You kind of have to just, you can't really get samples unless you know of a way to get samples for drugstore foundations. It's kind of like, once I figure out if it works for me or not, like, I don't want to return it. I don't think you really can return it. So that's why. It's just because the color selection for me especially with my skin tone, it's kind of hard for me to find stuff at the drugstore, but Colorstay works out. And so I have a couple. I have the L'Oreal True Match that I'm going to try out, the Ready Set Go by the CoverGirl, that's it. Yeah, those are the ones I've wanted to try. And I have the 3-in-1, and I like the 3-in-1, but the problem with that one is that it's a tad too dark for me. So, and then the one that's before is way too light. So, that's the reason why that one didn't make it. But I do like the 3-in-1. I tend to use that on other people more than I use it on myself. And then my last one I don't have with me because I have a sample. And I have a sample right now, but the girl gave it to me and gave me such a large sample that I really haven't had to go buy it yet. But the picture will be linked in, and that is the Amazonian Clay Foundation. I love that one. It does not move. It's super, super light. The color selection is not as big, but it's big enough that I can work with it, and I do like that one a lot. Sorry I don't have that one to hold up, and I'm sorry I don't have a lot of drugstore, but if you can think of a good drugstore that I didn't mention that I haven't tried, that would be great. Other than that, that's it, guys. That's it. Next week will be top 5 concealers. So, unless you guys want to change it, you don't say anything, I don't know. But